If it ain't broke, why fix it? The unique value proposition of comic NFTs. As an independent comic creator, it is important that your NFT strategy isn't just a cynical cash grab. While adding another revenue stream is an excellent business strategy, if you fail to provide your customers with a product that is objectively better and more useful than a standard digital image or PDF, you're pinning your long-term success on the NFT hype train. In the collectibles market, following the hype frequently turns out badly, at least in the short term. In my lifetime, I have seen the rise and fall, and sometimes rise again, of Pokemon cards, Pogs, and Beanie Babies, just to name a few collectibles. Floppy comics repeatedly cycle through a similar trajectory. The NFT mania of the summer of 2021 has already drastically cooled. History tells us that eventually any hype bubble will pop. As such, providing your customers with value beyond the collectible shimmer is critical. What follows are a few advantages of offering comic PDFs using NFT technology versus simply offering a conventional file via Dropbox or a sales platform like Gumroad. Many of the other forms of comic NFTs, including NFTs used for profile pictures and digital art NFTs, offer many of the same benefits. Number 1. Permission to share or resell. One useful definition of an NFT is digital content attached to a unique blockchain proof of ownership. This definition gets tangled up in philosophical discussions about whether or not something you can't even touch can truly be owned. I prefer a looser definition. An NFT is a unique instance of digital content accompanied by explicit blockchain-verified permission to transfer it to another person. Transferring an NFT to another wallet is an implied given facilitated by the attached blockchain coding, the NFT smart contract in this case. In creating the NFT, the creator implicitly grants the user the right to give or sell the same NFT to another person eventually. Until now, this has not technically been the case with conventional PDFs and digital files. I have dozens of PDFs on my hard drive from Kickstarter campaigns. With these, even permission to make a backup copy of those files on an external hard drive was a legal gray area until 2012 here in Canada. Sending those PDFs to another human without compensating the creator would definitely be morally and legally wrong, albeit rarely prosecuted. This issue is not just about resale and financial speculation. Imagine if you could never technically loan your favorite comic to a friend, or pass your comics along in your will. That is the current situation with non-NFT digital content. Both the PDF on your hard drive or the comic you are leasing on a subscription service like Comixology. NFTs allow your customers to move a digital comic along to a new person legally and with a clear conscience. Number 2. A collectible experience for the world. I grew up in the smallest incorporated city in Canada, with the nearest comic shop almost 100 miles away. I wouldn't have even known comics existed if it wasn't for a handful of Disney comics in the waiting room at my dentist. Today, I can order physical comics via Kickstarter and other online sales outlets, but frequently the cost of shipping is significantly more than what I paid for the actual comic. Digital comics largely solved these constraints, but only in the last few years could I subscribe to Comixology, as it previously was geo-fenced, excluding Canadians, presumably because of regional licensing issues. Even when digital libraries are available, there is no guarantee that a specific title will always be available, even if the service is still accessible. It's like when shows leave Netflix, never mind if it goes out of business. Given that there are more English speakers in Nigeria than in Canada, more in Belize than in Tampa, Florida, it is easy to show that there are millions of potential new comic collectors that can benefit from your comic in a digital form. And before someone says, yeah, but overseas countries don't know about NFTs, consider that the top 4 countries in the 2022 Global Crypto Adoption Index are Vietnam, the Philippines, Ukraine, and India. The US is 5th. While a regular PDF can reach those interested in simply reading your comic, something you cannot legally transfer cannot realistically be considered a collectible in the modern sense. And like it or not, much of the comic industry is built on the collectible experience. It is why so many comic shops include and collectibles in their name. NFTs can provide that experience to those who would normally struggle to acquire a physical comic at a reasonable price. As an aside, I want to address the skeptics who scoff at the notion of anything digital being collectible. I believe the argument should be irrelevant from a creator's point of view. Whether it is an NFT, a Babe Ruth rookie card, a CGC plastic encapsulated conglomeration of processed tree and pigment, or a pet rock, if a collector believes a product meets their minimum criteria for collectability, that is all that really matters. As artists and writers, we are joy makers, and for millions of people, a collectible NFT can bring that joy. Much like the comics aren't real literature opinion held by some prose writers and probably a few of our relatives, NFTs aren't collectibles is an argument that is more superimposed opinion than a concrete fact. Number 3. Built-in storage and backup. Owning an NFT is a lot like owning a safety deposit box with specific artwork in it. Your NFT art and/or PDF gets loaded onto your phone or other display from this box automatically based on your wallet address, your key. In the same way that every single comic on Comixology is not actually on your computer at all times, NFT files are retrieved and stored locally as needed. The attached PDF, movie, or graphic file is stored elsewhere. The user does not pay separately for this long-term storage, and these files can be very large. Some full-length movies have been distributed as NFTs. Contrast this to my comic PDF collection, accumulated mostly via Kickstarter. It currently occupies over 33 gigabytes on my hard drive and a duplicate amount in my Dropbox folder. In both cases, I'm responsible for providing and maintaining this storage. With an NFT, I am not. The creator of the NFT is responsible for that storage. Number 4. Duplicate management. If you've collected digital comics via Kickstarter for any length of time, you likely have several duplicate PDFs acquired via stretch goals or issue bundles. Besides taking extra disk space, these extras get scattered throughout multiple folders because they've come from multiple sources over time. These same PDFs as NFTs would appear as stacked duplicates in your wallet. Unless you want to keep multiple copies, for example holding copies for your children, any duplicates can be easily identified and sold or gifted. Number 5. Cross-application support. NFTs are built on blockchain or distributed ledger technology. Any blockchain is, by definition, a distributed database where no single party controls the information, i.e. there's no Amazon controlling the data like there is with Comixology. Everyone with access to the blockchain can see the entire database. This may sound like a recipe for mayhem, but in practice it allows your pseudonymous blockchain wallet address to act like a magic key to see your NFTs through the lens of any number of different programs. These programs look at the same source information, but display it and manipulate it differently. In the example in the book, the same Godzilla comic cover NFT is shown in an iPhone app designed to estimate the value of your collection based on sales data, and on 2 different web-based marketplaces. Think eBay for your NFTs. The last image shows a calculation of sales for the entire collection on a specific exchange in real time. Depending on the blockchain hosting the NFT, the information available to collectors about collections can be extremely rich and informative. Number 6. NFTs can be used as digital tickets. If you have ever used a digital ticket on your phone to get into a movie theater or concert, you've used a precursor to NFT technology. QR codes as entrance passes are pretty common these days. Because an NFT is a provably unique digital item, it can be used in a similar way. When a customer holds your comic as an NFT in their wallet, they are effectively holding a convenient, easy-to-transport on a phone, unique club token to your fan community. With minimal effort, it can be used as a ticket or a coupon that can't be easily counterfeited for a provable fandom. How you use that feature is only limited by your creativity. Some in-real-life ideas. You can offer holder-only signings at cons, bonus merch, bookmarks, stickers, etc. with any purchase, exclusive parties for holders of your NFT, and discounts on print comics. Digital perks. Tools are available that allow you to use specific NFTs as password replacements to unique holder-only sections on Discord. This in turn can facilitate fan voting, true fan-created interaction, and sneak peek exclusives and so on. Early access to subsequent issues of NFTs, special proof of attendance NFTs for any fan that shows up to your Zoom or Twitter event, discounts on online purchases, and subscriptions. Whatever your digital strategy is, be aware there is a fine line between honoring your fan base and creating an insufferable clique. Be sure to reward positive fan participation as much or more than simply honoring those with the largest collections. Also, where possible, limit exclusive perks to things that are just not scalable. Your fan base will understand that you can't give out an infinite number of seats to an all-expenses-paid dinner, for example. Be thoughtful about providing value to new and long-time fans alike. Number 7. No more missed distribution windows. So I don't know about you, but I get a lot of email. It's probably a byproduct of being on the internet since the beginning of time. It seems every single spam house and merchant of anything has me on their list. Every so often I go on an unsubscribe rampage, the legendary quest for inbox zero, and invariably somewhere in my spam folder or inbox I will unearth a notification that my digital comic from Kickstarter is ready to download. Sadly, on more than one occasion, clicking on that download link has led me to a download folder that is empty or inactive. At that point, you need to decide if you want to be that guy and go pester the creator directly for the comic, or let it slide, paying penance for your lack of digital hygiene and procrastination. If creators delivered these same digital comics to my blockchain wallet as NFTs, it wouldn't matter when I discovered them. They would just be there. NFTs can be sent individually or, depending on the blockchain tools available on the chain you selected, can be sent in bulk. And given that the storage of the NFT is the creator's responsibility, there is no expiration date on collecting them. And there is no signing in to a new cloud service, meaning, you guessed it, fewer promotional emails. Number 8. Simplified remittance. If you live in the US, there's a strong probability that you've never encountered the frustration of being unable to send money you have in your possession to a person or business. PayPal, Venmo, and the like are so ubiquitous that financial transactions are generally seamless. But when it comes to cross-border payments, things get a lot more complicated. Here in Canada, where over 80% of the population 15 and older uses a credit card and digital payments are the norm, I still cannot sign up for Venmo. Even industry giant PayPal is not available in every country. And in some countries where PayPal is available, there are restrictions. For example, if someone wants to purchase your comic via PayPal from Nigeria, options were restricted until very recently. This is a country with over 206 million people. Even when it is possible to send money to a person in another country, there can be hits from minimum payment amounts, currency exchange, and other fees. When you're trying to sell a product for under $5, the impact of these extras can be significant. In contrast, if someone is collecting NFTs, it invariably means that they are familiar with the native cryptocurrency supporting the underlying blockchain used to host those NFTs. Most times, this means being able to pay for your comic from anywhere in the world with very little overhead and no intermediary. As an example, a few years ago I conducted an experiment where I sent the equivalent of 12 cents US of a particular cryptocurrency called HBAR to the first person to contact me via Twitter from each continent. In under 20 minutes, I sent pennies to every continent other than Antarctica and had those transactions verifiably delivered. This is admittedly an edge case, but virtually frictionless payments to international customers will open up new markets for you. Number 9. Provenance and verifiable proof of origin. An influential comic creator I respect once said on their podcast, and I'm paraphrasing here, "When someone asks me if I have NFTs of my work, I offer to sell them a digital file of my comic. They invariably go away." I can totally see this happening, but not for the reason this creator assumed. They posited that the reason these potential customers turned them down was that they were only interested in the art to flip it for a profit. In one survey, only 41% of respondents stated they didn't expect to see their purchased NFTs grow in value, so it is fair to say that most NFT purchasers may be looking to make a profit eventually. However, I suspect the actual reason these collectors disappear is more likely that this creator inadvertently insulted them. Why? Because what the creator suggested is an NFT cultural faux pas. To an NFT collector, this is the equivalent of saying to someone at your con table, "I'll do a commission for you, but I won't sign it." It is a refusal to connect. If an artist creates an NFT and publicly confirms, "Yep, that's my NFT creating account address, that's me," the artist essentially offers the modern equivalent of a royal seal on a piece of content. It is the equivalent of a digital signature. The associated blockchain transaction log, think rows of information in a spreadsheet, is also a detailed provenance trail that leads back to the creator no matter how many times it changes hands. If the length of that chain of addresses shows only one transfer, the buyer received the work from the creator directly. If the chain is longer, they purchased it in the aftermarket, and there is a greater than zero chance that the creator will automatically receive royalties from that secondary purchase. Either way, it is proof to the collector that they supported the creator instead of an imposter, and can prove that they didn't just download the work from a pirate website somewhere. The same cannot be said of a conventional digital print or PDF. Number 10. Collateralized loans. Admittedly, this is an edge case benefit, but it points to a potential future use for comic NFTs. Most major blockchains host a service offering NFT collateralized peer-to-peer loans, basically digital pawn shops. An owner can offer their NFT as collateral, setting a time frame for paying back the loan and an interest amount. If the interest rate is attractive enough, another person can offer to fund the loan, knowing that they will either receive their money back with the promised interest or get ownership of the NFT at a discount. For a customer having sudden financial difficulties or trying to take advantage of a short-term economic opportunity, this can be a very useful service. Needless to say, this is not something available for regular comic PDFs. Even if we consider physical comics, the likelihood of finding a pawn shop willing to offer a reasonable loan amount for a high-value comic is fairly unlikely. With an NFT comic, the loan amount is typically 55% of the current blockchain verifiable market price, an accurate reflection of up-to-the-minute sales conditions. Yes, this is actually a thing. However, at this point, few comic NFTs meet the minimum collateral value, about $250, to attract loans. This may change in the future as more well-known artists and writers launch NFT projects.